Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Wednesday, the 13th of September 2017. Hope you're having a good trading week. Here's a look at the ES Futures front month contract. This is the daily chart of the S&P 500 in futures form at new highs, up a couple points today on another gap up. We've had two gaps up in a row, and it wiggled around a bit, and then it is what it is. We'll talk about that in the intraday action because, again, there was a gap that didn't fill there, but we'll look at that in a minute. Here's the crude oil up 7.5 cents to 48.30. Basically mid-range for the last year and a half. Very narrow range for oil. Gold closes down 3 at 1332.70. S&P cash index up $8.37. Again, there was a gap there. NDX up 15, still under the risk line from that 13 sell signal that we got the other day or 2 weeks ago. Stocks up 4, which is a blip. Biotech's up 10. There's a high range base forming there. Interesting if it breaks out. Not very interesting at all if it doesn't. VIX down to 10.58 again. That's unfortunate. 15 cents down for the day. Trend closes at 0.67. That's a super low reading on the trend. We talked about this last night. Brings the 10-day moving average down to 0.96. There's only been 8 or 9 days this whole year where the 10-day moving average of the trend has been under 1, and it is now. Remember that a 0.85 reading on the 10-day moving average of the trend gives you a sell signal on the broad market. And if I look at the last 10 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next 2 days that drop off are very high readings. So if we get anything down near 1.8, 1.7, 1.6 the next 2 days, it replaces 1.4s and 1.3s on the 10-day moving average. That's going to get us down there real quick. Just be aware of that. That doesn't happen, hasn't happened all year, so that's interesting. NASDAQ volume 1.7 billion shares. It was light. The Apple event didn't do much. We had a volume warning early on in the session. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ plus 657 was positive, but just barely. Plus 799 on the New York, which is positive. Google gains $3.36. Apple down 64 cents. Just a blip, and remember that's after their event. Big volume though. Notice that. That's the biggest volume day since last February on Apple, and it was a negative day. That's not a positive for that stock. Amazon up 462. Netflix up 341. Again, Netflix has been on a run here. Tesla lost a point, but it was up so big the prior day off of that 13 buy signal. That's a secret 13 buy signal. The TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down 67 cents, still in the top half of the range. Goldman Sachs at 489, still keeps it in the middle of this 20-point range it's been in now for a while. Here's the intraday action. This has not been very exciting, unfortunately, this week. Monday, we had the gap up and pushed higher, and then really flat, drifted up over lunch. And look how that last 3.5 hours on Monday was just so dead, like a 2-point range. That's untradeable. And then Tuesday, not much better. The gap up, the wiggle. I mean, most of the rest of the day was spent. This is what's amazing. I mean, you only had basically 7 points of range for the day, and you had 5 points of range in the first 10 minutes. So most of the day was spent inside that range. That's really disappointing. Now, when you look at the NASDAQ side, of course, a little more volatility, came back, filled the gap, stuff like that. But it was the ES side that was really disappointing overall. In terms of economic data coming out tomorrow, there's a little bit. We got the MBA Mortgage Applications Index at 7:30 a.m. We got PPI at 8:30. We got crude oil inventories at 10:30. None of that's going to be earth-shattering. But the thing to look at, the thing to focus on is this is triple expiration week. And does that mean we get an options unraveling move Wednesday after the first hour or maybe Thursday? Usually with triple, you will get it at some point. So we'll be watching for that and go from there. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Wednesday.